OSRC News at 7. Cheers as Supreme Court affirms Governor Ayedatiwa's election. President Tinubu ends Rivers State emergency rule, restores Fubara and others. Another grapple with book piracy as enforcement agencies clamp down on infringers. Outside Nigeria, thousands of Palestinians flee as Israel troops push into Gaza City. Good evening and welcome to the News at 7 coming to you live from OSRC Television. I am Obi Chukwemeka Oti. We begin on a cheery note tonight. The Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal filed by the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party PDP, Agbola Ajayi, against Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, arising from the 2024 governorship poll. Governor Ayedatiwa hence secures a final judgment seal on his mandate as the duly elected governor of Ondo State. The Supreme Court sitting in Abuja struck out the case after the appellant Agbola Ajayi in the election withdrew his petition. With the judgment, the long-drawn legal battle over the 2024 governorship poll has come to an end, solidifying Ayedatiwa's position as the rightful winner. The governor, who was present in court, hailed the ruling as a victory for democracy and reaffirmed his commitment to delivering good governance and inclusive development to the people of Ondo State. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress APC in Ondo State has described its governorship election victory at the Supreme Court the final endorsement of the people's mandate. In a statement by its publicity secretary, Alex Kalajaye, the chairman of the chapter, Ade Adetimehin, congratulated the governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, his deputy, Olaide Adelami, party chieftains, and the people of the state on the victory. The party further commended the roles of the judiciary, Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), and security agencies while the case lasted. APC urged all dissenting political parties to put the defeat behind them and support the efforts of the Governor Ayedatiwa government to reconstruct various sectors aimed at boosting the economy. Still on the Governor Ayedatiwa election victory, reactions trailed the Supreme Court victory of Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa as the democratically elected governor of Ondo State. The victory follows the withdrawal of a petition by former deputy governor and 2024 governorship candidate Agbola Ajayi challenging the election result. Residents congratulate Governor Ayedatiwa, noting that further court cases were unnecessary after he won in all 18 local government areas during the election.
For the past 10 months, Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has shuttled between courts following his declaration by the Independent National Electoral Commission on November 17, 2024 as the winner of the governorship poll. He emerged victorious in all 18 local government areas of the state. However, aggrieved candidates headed to the tribunal seeking cancellation of the election over alleged discrepancies. Now that the Supreme Court has affirmed his election, residents are congratulating the governor, saying further court action is unnecessary after such a decisive win.
It's worth it because you can see it's 18-0. Definitely in each local government, he won all the local governments. So, that's the first time. And we think we appreciate him if we can do better. So, but he wants it.
Going to court after the result of the election is clear and the winner has been declared is a waste of time, waste of resources generally, because a lot of things are involved. Time, money, and all that.
After this Supreme Court, the president should have to go back home to the drawing board that we don't need to end every case at the court. To me, it's like waste of money. Let the person that win the victory, like what happened during the time of Buhari and Jonathan. It was about going to an level when Jonathan, the city president, congratulated Buhari, and that's certainly the case. If it happen in Ghana, it happen in abroad. You see, some of them will congratulate each other. So this will put the rest to many things. Number one, all this taking lawyers, going to appeal, going to Supreme, going to High Court. It will put an end to all these things. So then let our INEC, the umpire, they have a work to do. So that by the time we finish every election, there should be no reason again for anybody going to court.
Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Dr. Sheung Osamaye, attributed the victory to the people's love for an administration that has already brought visible benefits in various categories.
The victory he has now has shown that truly he's a man who has attained a leadership position through divine providence, through an act of God. You can even experience or notice this during his victory at the polls. In the electoral process, he won massively. He has the mandate of the people. And today's victory again at the Supreme Court has proved that indeed God is with him. For the opposition man to withdraw his case from the Supreme Court has not only shown has not only shown him as his statesmanship as an individual, but it has also shown that the governor is loved by the people, is loved by God, and that is why now even his enemies now choose to stand with him.
Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Social Investment, Felix Alunge, alongside other respondents, expressed optimism that more dividends of democracy will follow, while urging electoral umpires to strengthen their discharge of duties.
Thank God, in various sectors, particularly the capital aspect of it, capital projects, you have been seen is good hands. And I know that I'm just appealing to the good people of Ondo State that not only being patient, but they should be ready to witness the dividend of governance under Governor Loki Orimisa Ayedatiwa in the remaining this tenure that is ongoing.
Former Deputy Governor and 2024 People's Democratic Party governorship candidate Agbola Ajayi had earlier withdrawn his petition challenging the results. Omoriola Humbiji, OSRC News.
Away from the election tribunal court's victory, President Bola Tinubu has announced the end of the 6-month state of emergency imposed on Rivers State, declaring that Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy Ngozi Edu, and members of the State House of Assembly will return to office from Thursday, September 18. Tinubu said the state of emergency, first proclaimed on March 18, was necessary to arrest the total paralysis of governance that had gripped Rivers State at the time. He said a bitter conflict between the governor and the 27 lawmakers loyal to the House Speaker had left the state without a functioning government, with the Supreme Court even affirming in one of its rulings that there was no government in Rivers State. The president thereafter appointed retired Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, sole administrator, who was in the saddle for 6 months to stabilize governance. The Ondo State government has expressed concern over recent vandalism of public infrastructure, specifically the deliberate cutting and theft of cables from the newly installed traffic light at Araromi, Akure Metropolis. This act, according to government, undermines the collective progress of the state. Commissioner for Infrastructure, Lands and Housing, Ayorinde Olawoye, said public infrastructure is essential for improving safety, easing traffic flow, and enhancing government's residents' quality of life. Hence, the destruction of such facilities harms the well-being of the community. He urged the public to protect these installations and report any suspicious activities. Security agencies have also been instructed to identify, apprehend, and prosecute those responsible for such destructive behavior. The 32 Artillery Brigade of the Nigerian Army Owena Cantonment, Akure, will conduct a range classification exercise on Thursday, 18 September and Friday, 19th, 2025. Assistant Director, Army Public Relations, 32 Artillery Brigade, Major Njoka Irabo said the drill will run daily between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. at the military range Itaogbolu, Akure North Local Council area. He described the exercise a routine military training designed to sharpen the weapon handling skills of officers and soldiers. The army urged members of the public not to panic on seeing troops movement or hearing gunfire during the exercise. Residents, commuters, and farmers in Itogbolu area have equally been advised to stay clear of the range for safety throughout the period of the exercise. The army also appealed to the public to share the information widely, including in local languages, to ensure maximum awareness and cooperation. We'll go on a commercial break now. When we return, we'll serve you more stories. Don't go away.
The MTN Mega Billion promo is here. Dial star 900 hash and recharge 100 naira or more before 5 p.m. and you could be a millionaire. At 7 p.m., all cash prizes will be paid directly into your Momo account. Dial star 900 hash. Start recharging now and stand a chance to win big in the MTN Mega Billion promo.
Thank you for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV. And on YouTube, you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. Now, the Ondo State government has facilitated a strategic partnership with Floating Counseling and Family 101 UK in collaboration with Ministry of Regional Integration and Diaspora Relations. The initiative culminated in a 2-day workshop in Akure, which gathered women from across the state to discuss the unique challenges facing the female gender. OSRC's correspondent Abidemi Akinrote reports on the participants' experiences and concerns about menopause, blood pressure, and other issues. The report is presented from our studio.
The 2-day program tagged Strong Women Family Summit was organized by Floating Counseling and Family 101 UK in partnership with Ondo State Ministry of Regional Integration and Diaspora Relations, aimed to empower women, foster unity and promote collective growth. Founders and facilitators Elizabeth Owode and Celestina Oniye led the participants through a refreshing breathing exercise, underscoring its health benefits.
Within, 1, 2, without.
They urged women to pay attention to bodily changes, stressing that every woman's journey is different. Addressing menopause, they dispelled the myth that it is exclusive to older women, explaining that it can occur at various stages of life.
Take care of yourself. Let's remember that with everything that we're doing, yes, the home, yes, the children, yes, the husband.
One of the reasons you can have high blood pressure is stress. So if you're always stressed about maybe money, your family, your in-laws, what can you do to make sure you don't die? Because if you're going to keep making your heart tired, your heart is going to give up. So would you rather find a solution to your stress, or you let your heart give up?
Engaging discussions and free medical checks, women who had passed through menopause shared personal stories, particularly about the perimenopausal stage that precedes full menopause. Commissioner for Regional Integration and Diaspora Relations, Wale Akinlosotu, represented by Bankole Ajibade, reaffirmed government's commitment to deeper collaborations with diaspora groups for Ondo State development.
On behalf of the good government of Dr. Loki, that's the governor of Ondo State, and the Ministry of Regional Integration and Diaspora Relations, I want to assure you that the government remains committed to fostering more of these collaborations with diaspora groups and organizations for the collective progress of Ondo State and Nigeria at large.
The facilitators also shared practical tips for preventing and managing high blood pressure and diabetes, shedding light on these critical health issues.
I think women need to make sure that they're healthy. They need to speak up, don't hold it all in, and surround themselves with people who are also healthy. You can pray with them, that's what they're into. People who don't think they're mad over everything they say. So if they surround themselves with healthy people, eat what is healthy.
Pledging to sustain the momentum, the organizers promised that the workshop will continue in Ondo State and across Nigeria. As a key takeaway, women were encouraged to prioritize their health through regular medical checkups and attentiveness to bodily changes, ensuring lifelong wellness.
To education now, the National Examinations Council, NECO, has released the 2025 Senior School Certificate Examination SSCE results, showing that 60.26% of candidates earned at least 5 credits, including English and mathematics. Announcing the result at NECO headquarters in Mina, Niger State, Registrar Dantani Ibrahim Wushishi said over 800,000 candidates met the benchmark. He explained that over 1.1 million candidates, representing 84.26%, secured 5 credits and above in all subjects regardless of English and mathematics. No fewer than 1.36 million candidates registered for the examination. In the meantime, piracy, the unauthorized use or reproduction of copyrighted materials, poses a significant threat to creators, industries, and the economy. With the rise of digital content and the ease of reproduction, piracy has become a pressing issue, raising concerns about its ripple effects on authors and publishers. In this report, OSRC's Joy Pius examines the growing trend of book piracy with a focus on enforcement efforts in Ondo State.
Over the years, Nigeria has been grappling with the problem of book piracy, the unauthorized copying, distribution or sale of copyrighted literary works in both printed and digital form. This menace threatens authors, publishers, and the literary industry at large. It erodes writers' rights, results in huge financial losses, and undermines the value of creative work, affecting the publishing industry's sustainability. Piracy also fuels job losses in publishing and floods the market with substandard low-quality books. According to the Nigerian Publisher Association, pirates control about 70% of Nigeria's book market, while a university study revealed that over 85% of students admit to using pirated books or journals. In 2023, the Nigerian Copyright Commission seized pirated books valued at more than 300 million naira at Onne Port and has confiscated over 9 million pirated copies nationwide in recent years. To curb the practice, the Copyright Act 2022 strengthened penalties and gave copyright officers wider powers to act against infringement. In Ondo State, the government recently declared that pirated books will no longer be acceptable in public and private schools, a move aimed at protecting intellectual property and improving education standards. Enforcement agencies are also stepping up their game. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, working with the Copyright Commission, recently clamped down on bookshops in Akure suspected to be selling pirated materials, a signal that authorities are paying closer attention to the trade in the state. In Akure, a student, Joy Gospel, shared her experience purchasing a pirated book and the repercussions she faced.
Actually, when I was in secondary school, I had that same situation that my book was pirated, and my teacher was telling me that it's only your book that is different from the whole class, so it's pirated copy. So I feel like they don't sell pirated copy with the original copy, they sell everything together. I just feel like it's if you know the best shop to just buy your things, you should advise people, because that time I was shamed though in school. Like everybody's book was, and that's like a different pattern of their own book, and my own book was different from everybody. So it was just as if sometimes they will not want to use my own book because it is pirated. So I feel like the government should do something about, or the manufacturers of those books should do something about it.
The spokesperson for Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) in Ondo State, Daniel Aidamembo, said the Corps is committed to enforcing laws and raising public awareness on intellectual property rights. He stressed that offenders face stiff consequences, including fines, lawsuits, and possible imprisonment, urging the public to report suspicious activities.
As a genuine entrepreneur, when you produce, there are some people who are sabotaging your efforts, duplicating what you produce, selling it at a cheaper price. The money is coming to them, and you are not getting the royalty from your sweat, and just somebody is just there, enjoying it. So, the law actually criminalizes this. You can be imprisoned, and you can also be fined at the same time.
Although detailed figures for Ondo State seizures are not yet available, authorities confirmed that several arrests and shop closures have taken place across the state, especially in Akure. Piracy remains a multifaceted challenge affecting creators, industries, and the economy. Strengthening public awareness and promoting respect for intellectual property are essential to protect Nigeria's literary future. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
After this break, thousands of Palestinians flee as Israel troops push into Gaza City. Join us again.
House refreshment is goodness to go round. The Peak Yogurt Drink 1 liter Full House pack with more refreshment, which contains fresh cow milk. Enjoy Full House goodness filled with essential vitamin and minerals. Peak, reach for your peak.
The MTN Mega Billion promo is here. Dial star 900 hash and recharge 100 naira or more before 5 p.m. and you could be a millionaire. At 7 p.m., all cash prizes will be paid directly into your Momo account. Dial star 900 hash. Start recharging now and stand a chance to win big in the MTN Mega Billion promo.
Glad to know you're still there. The National Orientation Agency, NOA, has charged Nigerians to show greater respect and commitment to the country's national symbols as the nation marks the 2025 National Ordnance Day. According to NOA Director General Lanre Isaonilu, the agency had in recent years intensified campaigns to instill respect for the national flag, anthem, pledge, coat of arms, and other emblems of sovereignty, stressing that these symbols remain central to Nigeria's unity and identity. Isaonilu said the National Ordnance Day commemorates the handover of Nigeria's national symbols at independence and serves a reminder of the values of unity, discipline, and service that bind the nation together. He called on citizens to demonstrate patriotism through their interactions with these symbols, noting that giving proper recognition to the symbols is both a civic duty and a mark of patriotism. The Central Bank of Nigeria has reaffirmed its commitment to stimulating productivity, deepening financial inclusion, and ensuring monetary and price stability as part of its efforts to strengthen the nation's economy. CBN Governor Olayemi Kudoso gave the assurance while declaring open the 2025 CBN Fair in Kano. Kudoso noted that within the last 2 years, the bank has introduced several key policies to strengthen the financial system, including exchange rate unification to minimize arbitrary opportunities and reduce volatility in the foreign exchange market. The CBN governor said it also introduced bank recapitalization to strengthen the resilience and global competitiveness of the sector, positioning it to support the $1 trillion economy. The event featured paper presentations on various topics aimed at enlightening the public on specific policies of the Apex Bank. Now to Delta State, where the police command has killed 2 suspected kidnappers at the Owe-Eke Boji in Eka Northeast local government area of the state. Police Public Relations Officer in the state, Bright Edafe, said a combined effort with men of Operation Delta Sweep recorded the breakthrough. Edafe disclosed that the one AK-47 rifle with 40 rounds of ammunition and 2 magazines were recovered from the hoodlums while the manhunt for the other fleeing suspects was ongoing. There had been series of kidnap cases around Owe-Eke, Boji, Owa, Abravo and neighboring communities in recent times, which made the residents abandon their farms out of fear of the unknown. Outside Nigeria, a court in Colombia has sentenced 7 former FARC leaders to up to 8 years of reparations work for their role in thousands of kidnappings for ransom. The special court was set up under the terms of the 2016 peace deal. These are the first sentences to be handed down for individual punishments under the special jurisdiction for peace. Blessing Obi tells us more.
7 years after its creation, Colombia's Peace Tribunal delivered its first ruling against FARC's not commanders.
They are responsible for war crimes, hostage-taking, homicide, torture, cruel treatment. Attacks be repeated.
Over the years, FARC adopted more than 20,000 people, politicians, civilians, and soldiers, often held for years in jungle camps. Many never returned. FARC's political successor, the Communist Party, issued a statement saying that its commitment to peace and victims' dignity had been proven. But Ana Maria Rodriguez, who represents 1,400 victims in the case, says not everyone will be satisfied with the decision.
The ruling does not go into detail about each of the thousands of kidnapping victims, but rather takes a macro look at the criminal phenomenon. And although this prevents each person from reading or seeing their individual story within the ruling, it does provide a level of truth about what happened during that period. Of course, this inevitably leaves a certain bitterness for those who expect to see individual answers in the decision, and there are many of them who still have not received answers.
On Thursday, the tribunal is expected to hand down its first sentence for ex-soldiers implicated in the extrajudicial killings. Blessing Obi, OSRC News.
Elsewhere in Gaza, thousands of Palestinians are continuing to flee the city as Israel's major ground offensive aimed at occupying the area enters a second day. Israel says its aim is to free hostages held by Hamas and defeat up to 3,000 fighters in what it describes the group's last stronghold, but the offensive has drawn widespread international condemnation. The Israel Defense Forces has announced that it had struck more than 150 targets across Gaza City in 2 days in support of its ground troops. The leaders of more than 20 major aid agencies, including Save the Children and Oxfam, warned that the inhumanity of the situation in Gaza is pathetic. The UN Commission of Inquiry concludes that Israel had committed genocide against Palestinians in Gaza, an allegation the Israeli government strongly denies. To end the news at 7, here again are the major stories. We told you that today's Supreme Court's affirmation of Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa as the duly elected governor of Ondo State has been described by political bigwigs, residents and the electorate a clear demonstration of the people's will. President Bola Tinubu has announced the end of 6-month state of emergency imposed on Rivers State, declaring that Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy, and members of the State House of Assembly will return to office from Thursday, September 18. We also brought you the report that authors have stepped up their battle with book piracy to protect the intellectually inclined industry. And from the foreign scene, we told you that thousands of Palestinians continue to flee Gaza City as Israel's major ground offensive aimed at occupying the area enters another day. And that's it on the news at 7. Thank you very much for your time. Good evening.